One of my bosses used to say, and I think it's correct also, that supply chain is like the nervous system in the body. So they know everything across the value chain, right? They are in touch with the suppliers, they are in touch with the manufacturing entities, they are in touch with the outbound vendors, they are in touch with the customers. This coupled with artificial intelligence, machine language, all of those things happening, it would be a good cocktail which would foster growth, is what I feel, and it will in turn have a lot of job opportunities also coming up.
If you want to make a career in supply chain, who better to ask insights from the Vice President of Supply Chain at CEAT Tires. We have Vinod Kumar sir today. We'll be talking to him about the potential opportunities in supply chain. How is supply chain as a career? What are some potential opportunities? How lucrative is this field when we talk about digital transformation and a lot of other things that is happening in this space? We spoke about the growth sectors and the lucrative opportunities that it provides. Hello Vinod, welcome to Inside IM.
Thanks, Seth.
It has been quite a journey since you started your career to where you are right now.
Right.
For your introduction for our audience, why don't you introduce yourself by first explaining what you exactly do right now and what has always your North Star been while especially making career choices?
So, Seth, as of now, I head the supply chain for CEAT Limited. I have been in this role for close to 18 odd months. Within CEAT, my career has been, it spanned a little over 17 years. I have worked across functions, right from supply chain to sales and marketing to strategy. So that's how it's been in CEAT, roller coaster kind of ride. I think they have given me opportunities across functions, which has helped me develop as a holistic individual. Coming back to the North Star, it's difficult. When you look at it from a hindsight perspective, it's easy to pinpoint that. But if I just go back 17 years or 20 odd years, at that point of time, it was about having a good degree, good engineering degree, doing well in your courses, and then getting an MBA, right? And then taking things as they come. Right. When I look back now, probably I think I made the right choices in terms of going in the direction which I wanted. I'm a mechanical engineer. Mechanical engineering came from my affinity to machines, liking physics and all of those things. Again, logically, the next step was getting into an operations and supply chain kind of background from one of the premier institutes in India. So that ways, I would say things till now have worked out decently well, right? That's how it is, Seth.
Awesome.
Sure.
Looking back in hindsight in almost 2 decades of your career, what has been some of the pivotal career decisions that you have taken? Probably in an organization when you were working and you had to decide between where to orient your career towards.
Seth, I would say that I have gone a lot with the drift, while ensuring that wherever I am, I make the most out of it in terms of learning and adding value to the organization. So if you look at my career right from my engineering days, I worked with Asian Paints for 3 years as an engineer, right? And then I moved on to Becton and Dickinson as a project engineer. After that, I did my MBA, and then I have been with CEAT and RPG for the past 17 years. I started off in supply chain, but with the kind of projects that I did in the initial couple of years, I felt it would be good to get a understanding of how the sales side of things, the demand side of things work. I got an opportunity. I moved into sales as a zonal business manager, right? After that, I again got an opportunity in supply chain. I came back. I did a few stints in supply chain. Then I remember there was a strategy opportunity in MD's office. So I opted for that. And again, as I said, the intention at all those points was to get the maximum out of that stint that I have, and also to add value to the organization. That's been the mantra, and appropriate guidance, inputs from the senior leaders within the organization, probably getting in touch with faculty members once in a while. All of these things also help.
Do you think sales experience is necessary to eventually climb your way to a senior management and have more say in the decision-making process of the company?
If you ask me, it's my personal belief. Creating demand is one of the most challenging things that can happen, right? So that way, sales is one of the most challenging roles that you can have within an organization. Different functions can have their own biases and point of views, but having worked across, I feel yes, it helps you develop as an individual, get a holistic perspective. And see, the mantra for any organization is customer backwards. I feel sales is the closest to the customers, right? And that is where you see what the customer wants and how you can align the rest of the organization as per that.
Right. What are your thoughts on the supply chain industry in India right now?
Supply chain industry in India, I think the curve is steep for India in terms of growth of supply chain industry, right? I was reading somewhere the growth trend for the next 10 to 20 odd years is some 10-11% CAGR kind of thing, right? And it is a function of the overall demand and consumption that is there within the country. It is also a function of how India has now been positioned as a par within the world. Right. I think people now look at India as one of the supply chain hubs or a manufacturing hub, which does give a lot of boost to the complete supply chain industry or supply chain ecosystem, so to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Also, with the latest investments that have been done in the supply chain infrastructure to make things again faster and more efficient,
Yeah.
What opportunities do you think this opens up for young graduates who want to probably pursue a career in supply chain management later?
See, there's a lot of, you rightly pointed out, there is a lot of investment that's going on. Government that way in terms of whatever capex is to be done, capital expenditure is to be done for infrastructure development, for ease of doing business. All of these things are being done. What this will do is make India a manufacturing hub and a supply chain hub, right? It obviously would bring in a lot of jobs across the value chain, right from procurement to manufacturing to the outbound side of the value chain. There will be a lot of jobs that would be created. Warehousing, logistics, planning, procurement, all of these areas have continued to be good for supply chain. And I feel from here on it'll be going good for the next predictably 10 to 15 years at least.
So this is a lucrative career for somebody who wants to get into supply chain.
Definitely. See, supply chain. So one of my bosses used to say, and I think it's correct also, that supply chain is like the nervous system in the body. So they know everything across the value chain, right? They are in touch with the suppliers, they are in touch with the manufacturing entities, they are in touch with the outbound vendors, they are in touch with the customers, or if not the customers, at least till the sales team members, right? At times the customers also. So from that aspect, they span across the value chain and have a pivotal role across the value chain.
Right.
So I totally would endorse that bet.
For somebody having no experience of supply chain before or not having had the ground level experience that you were mentioning, is it ideal for them to become supply chain consultants right from the get-go?
Consulting, again, it's a tricky question, right? You have put me in a spot, Seth. But see, consulting is done best when you have some ground experience, right? On ground experience. You can use the intellect that you get from reading books, understanding concepts also. But the real value add is if you have some kind of ground experience that is available. So if you ask me, initial hustle followed by a consulting route is the best, right? Until unless they have a very solid pre-MBA experience where they understand supply chain. But if it is starting from zero, it is always better to get some on-ground experience and then move up.
That's a very valuable insight, because that also brings us back to your initial point to create as much as value.
Correct.
Because like how you mentioned, if you are as close in touch with the system as possible initially, you get that understanding, and later you can build on top of it and add more value as you go along the way.
Correct.
All the companies, even supply chain, they are implementing digital transformation in their maybe ecosystem or the way they function.
Yeah.
So this shift, what kind of opportunities does it create? Also, how can someone prepare for this?
be it crashing the lead times, finding route optimization so that the distance traveled is less, using vehicles wherein the emissions are less, looking for vehicles which are EVs or CNGs. All of those things are on the rise, right? We had a constraint of long haul vehicles not being EVs, but that again, I have heard there are organizations which are working on that, wherein your long haul vehicles also would have electric kind of ecosystem available, right? All of these things, if they work out, we would be in the right direction. As far as the digital part of it is concerned, see, it becomes a hygiene as and when an organization or an ecosystem or an economy grows, right? If you look at, just to take a comparison to how the ease of doing business has grown in India, right? I think some 10 odd years back, we were some 150 odd ranked across the globe. We are now some 63, 65. All of it has happened owing to the ease of doing business becoming better. A lot of it has to do with the way digital things have come up. Now, looking at sustainability in digital, it opens a huge amount of avenues for people to understand this better and grow within the organization and as individuals, and it gives huge amount of job opportunities as well.
Powerful insights, Vinod. I really appreciate you
Sure.
sharing that with us.
Thanks.
I would want to leverage your expertise here.
Sure.
So within the next 5 to 10 years, I know it's a long horizon to look at compared to how we are progressing. But which specific areas in supply chain you think will have the most potential growth and maybe lucrative career opportunities?
See, digitalization is definitely going up. See, there are two parts to it. One is digitization, one is digitalization, right?
Oh.
I also got educated on these two terms, I think some 6-8 months back. I used to use it synonymously, interchangeably, but I got to know that digitization is when you just do a automation of the existing process. Digitalization is when you change the process, do a business process re-engineering, and then put the digital aspect to it, right? Both these things are on the up as of now, and I feel this is one of the key areas where there's a lot of boom or a lot of growth that is going to happen, right? This coupled with artificial intelligence, machine language, all of those things happening, it would be a good cocktail which would foster growth, is what I feel, and it will in turn have a lot of job opportunities also coming up.
Right.
That's my outlook. Second, we spoke about sustainability, right? Sustainability, if you ask me, is a very unexplored area in supply chain, outside of supply chain, both. Within supply chain, there's a lot of scope to do things in a much better way, in a very eco-friendly kind of thing, right? It has not been explored adequately, is what I feel. Right? And making it cost effective. See, supply chains operate on good service at good cost, right? So ensuring that it becomes cost effective is another area which will see a lot of boom.
Right.
So if you ask me, supply chain will have a lot of growth opportunities coming around these areas. At the same time, the fundamentals remain as is, right? The basic supply chain planning, operations, all of those things would also keep on growing. Warehousing, logistics, definitely there's a boom in the basic operations.
Wow.
That coupled with automation and all is further gonna add on to the availability of adequate employment across the country.
Is FMCG a good career sector choice for me if I have to have the breadth and the depth of things?
See, FMCG, they say, is recession proof, right? Right. So that ways, so even in COVID, nobody stopped, let's say, eating biscuits or brushing their teeth. That ways, it's an evergreen industry. That's what I've heard of. But at the same time, each industry has its own nuances, own understanding, right? FMCG definitely attracts a lot of, people have a lot of aspiration to get into FMCG, but a lot of those concepts are now being used across other industries as well. See, I'll give you a parlance for tire industry. FMCG typically uses distribution model.
Right.
CEAT in India started distribution model. They pioneered the distribution model for tires. Right, distributor model, wherein the distributor gets billed and he then services the sub dealers. So a lot of processes that were part of FMCG are being used in other industries as well. So FMCG definitely, but then other industries have caught up a lot. E-commerce, quick commerce,
yeah.
right? The learnings there is pretty steep.
Awesome. Vinod, it was great talking to you.
Sure. Thank you.
On a concluding note, are there specific, maybe small habits that you picked up during your MBA journey or in your career initially, which later snowballed into big opportunities later?
See, Seth, one thing which I mentioned is keep on learning is important. To have that mindset is important. I also have a habit of journaling, right? So that has helped me a lot. It helps me sync up with a lot of thoughts which I had earlier, then go through them, probably understand how I thought, and then reframe myself. So, yeah, these are the few things. Being a learner is important.
Okay guys, that's it for today's episode. If you like the video, do let us know in the comments below. If there are specific questions you would want Vinod sir to answer, please pin them down in the comments and we'll make sure that they get answered. Meanwhile, there's a link in the description which talks more about SPJIMR and the courses that they offer. Meanwhile, this is Seth from Team Inside IM, signing off.